comes to mind when I say the words air pollution? Many people think of places like Los Angeles, California, or Tucson, Arizona, big cities with lots of smog. There are also factories, pollen, and automobiles among the high contributors to air pollution. Fortunately for us, Mother Nature cleans the air outside every 24 hours through precipitation, rain, dew, fog, and especially in Idaho, snow. If you've ever stepped outside after a spring rain, it's hard to miss that smell. Hard not to notice the fresh air and how that smells. We don't have rain very often in Idaho, so that's a cherished smell. Precipitation is Mother Nature's way of cleaning the air for us. When you wake up in the morning, you let the blinds up to let the sunlight in. I'm sure you've noticed those floating dust particles in the air. I'll use my lamp, and if we're lucky, we'll simulate the sunlight outside. Sometimes big buildings have greater air conditioning systems and better ventilation, so you won't get as much dust. But if you see a few particles, dust particles there, dust really is everywhere. Today I'm going to share with you some important information about what dust is, about how it can affect your health, and I'm going to offer you a solution for cleaning the dust from your air. People get concerned about pollution in the big cities, but the air inside our homes is 2 to 5 times worse than the air outside. The EPA says that indoor air pollution is among the top 5 environmental risks to public health. To control our climate, we build 4 walls, put a roof on it, and now we use better doors, windows, and insulation than ever before. In our efforts to control the climate, though, we have trapped the air inside our house, along with all of the contaminants and germs that we've brought in. Germs and sickness are trapped inside, and that's why when one family member gets sick, it usually spreads from one to the other throughout the household. We wake up in our homes every day with the same stale, dirty air. Possible sources of dust are dirt from your shoes, dead insects, cigarette smoke, germs, pollen, fiberglass, fireplace soot, and worst of all, insect feces. Insects aren't potty trained, and if you have indoor pets, they probably don't wipe their feet off when they come in the house either. Say, for instance, you stop at a grocery store or a gas station on your way home from work. When you walk across the parking lot, you come in contact with gas, oil, antifreeze, human spit, and even possibly animal biologicals. If it's moist at all, it sticks to the bottom of your foot or your shoe. When you walk into your home, you bring that in with you. The contaminants that you brought into your home are now trapped, and they make part of the pollution that we see floating in the air. According to the EPA, polluted air contributes to health problems like headache, dizziness, sore throat, nasal discharge, irritated eyes, coughing, nausea, and sleeplessness. They also attribute more serious problems like allergy and asthma and even bronchitis to poor indoor air quality. This ugly creature is a dust mite. The photo is blown up several thousand times, as about 7,000 of them will fit on your thumbnail. We're constantly shedding our skin, approximately 1.5 pounds per year. I'm not sure where that weight goes, but we shed it. And these little guys feast on our dead skin cells. They pass the protein through their fecal waste, which then catches a ride on that dust that we see floating in the air. If you find yourself holding your breath right now, you're not alone. The first time someone explained to me what I was breathing, I gasped shallow breaths for a week. Most people think that they're allergic to dust, but the EPA informs us that it's actually the dust mite and its waste that we are allergic to. Exposure to dust mites can cause asthma in children who have not previously exhibited asthma symptoms, and it most assuredly will induce an asthma attack for those who have suffered from asthma. The outside air we breathe is cleansed by rain, and water is also used to cleanse our body, our clothes, our dishes, and our automobiles. The Hyla has taken Mother Nature's proven method and just turned it around a little bit. Instead of running the water through the air, the Hyla runs the air through the water. all you get out is clean, water-washed air. I couldn't bring a Hyla in for you today, but here is a picture. It is basically made up of 3 parts: the top, the basin, and the trolley. The top is made of very durable ABS plastic, the same thing that they make men's football helmets out of. The separator is actually located here in the center. This is what it looks like. That's the heart and lungs of the system. It spins at 25,000 RPM, creating airflow of up to 100 cubic feet per minute. It has a 1.2 horsepower industrial bypass motor that it only pulls 7.7 amps. The basin is made of polyurethane, the same product they use to make commercial airline windows. And then the trolley is also made of ABS plastic, and it eases movement throughout the house. Water is the only filter. You fill the water to the fill line on the basin, which is right here. You set the top on the basin, and then you just pull this handle up to latch it closed. When you plug the Hyla in and turn it on, the nasty dust that's in the air goes into the water, and wet dust can't fly. You get nothing out but clean, water-washed air. After just a few moments of running the Hyla, if we had one here, you'd be able to pull the top off and see the dirt particles trapped in the water. As awful as it seems to think about drinking that water, drinking it would be safer for you than breathing it. Our stomachs can digest the impurities that are trapped in that water with acids and enzymes, whereas our lungs are moist. So the particles that come in are trapped in our lungs. You can purchase deodorizer, which is made specifically for the Hyla, that kills the germs as the water traps them, while it freshens your air and even works to balance the humidity in your air. You can add Epsom salts to the water in the basin, which will soothe skin conditions like eczema and psoriasis, creating an oceanic climate. And in addition, you can use various aromatherapy oils in it that disperse into the air. Vicks Vapor Rub can even go into it, or eucalyptus oil. They work wonders for colds. I personally discovered the Hyla in 2006. But the winter preceding, I had strep throat 7 times in 6 months. It may have been the most costly sickness that I've personally had. I haven't been hospitalized for things, but that was a rough winter. I went to the doctor every 3 weeks because they would give me antibiotics. As soon as those antibiotics took their course, 3 weeks later I'd be sick again. My poor husband probably thought he was losing his mind, and I had my moments too. I believe personally that the strep was trapped in my home and I was becoming reinfected over and over again. After having a Hyla in my home, I have not had strep throat ever again. That is an amazing change because I was previously susceptible, and I got strep almost every year, besides the 7 times in 6 months. That's 9 years being strep-free. Also, before discovering this product, my son had nosebleeds. He had multiple nosebleeds every day. The doctors wanted to cauterize the blood vessels in his nose, but he was only 9 years old. So their answer to his chronic nosebleeds made me really nervous. After we found the Hyla, that was really close to the time that the doctors had diagnosed him and wanted to do the surgery. We had had the Hyla in our home only 1 week when we realized he'd only had 1 nosebleed that week. So the salesman who had sold us our Hyla, they told us that the Hyla balanced the humidity in the air and that it would help. But I wasn't sure until I saw the effects. And then now I'm not sure if it was the balanced humidity or if it was getting the dust particles out that he was breathing. I'm not sure what the cause was. All I know is that his asthmatic tendencies and his nosebleeds have been cured after having the Hyla in the home. Before my presentation today, you were likely unaware of what was in your air, of the dust mites that are carried about on the dust, and the fact that your dust is not just dirt, but dead skin cells and other decomposing materials. Now that you've been made aware of what's in your home and the hazards that dust and dust mites present for you and your families, It is my hope that you will seek out ways to clean your home and your air more efficiently and effectively. Having experienced wonderful results, I highly recommend the Hyla for any home, and I recommend that you use it 30 to 45 minutes a day. You too have the opportunity to enjoy fresh, water-washed air and a healthier home.